Thank you, Patrice, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Accelerate 2019. I'm Kenzie, founder and CEO of Fortinet. Today, I'm going to share with you some of my thinking for how the security, how the networking trend going forward, as we have done in the last many years. Just the room gets bigger and bigger now. And also how our partner and customer can leverage this huge opportunity going forward. So 3 topics. First, cybersecurity and networking in the last 34 years progress, and how the trend going forward. Second, the cloud versus edge computing and architecture, and especially related to security. And third, Fortinet and competitors. So you all know, in the last 30, 40 years, so networking and cybersecurity space has been changing a lot and evolving a lot. So every day, we have to learn a lot of new things, which I like the learning part a lot. In the 1980s and 1990s, that's where how internet started. So the network connection is very few, and also the speed is only in the kilobit per second. Most of the traffic is still simple text-based. And the first generation firewall is very simple. It just controls the connection between your wide area network, we call WAN, and the local area network, we call LAN. And they secure the edge between the WAN and LAN. So I started my first company, you all know, it's about 1993, doing the software firewall. Then we found out the performance gap between the networking and security is big, it's huge. So I started my second company in 1996, which NetScreen using the ASIC chip to close the performance and cost gap between the networking and security. So NetScreen became a leader in the first generation network security, and later sold to Juniper, $4 billion. So I probably too bored staying at home, so I started another company almost 20 years ago. So, and also, 20 years ago, what's been changing is also very interesting. So the server and PC starting replacing the mainframe and terminal. And also the network speed starting reaching to the megabit and the gigabit per second. And the network traffic content also become much rich, much active, and a lot of executable inside network traffic content. So the first generation firewall cannot really see the content. They cannot identify and stop the agent-based virus and intrusions. So that's how Fortinet founded 19 years ago. So we pioneered and lead the second generation of firewall on UTM. So they address the issue that most malware and intrusion all come in from permitted connection, which the first generation firewall, which is connection-based, cannot see the content and also cannot stop all this kind of agent-based attack. But most second generation firewall still secure the border between the WAN and the LAN. And they're pretty much replacing all the first generation firewall today. When you try to secure the content, they need about 50 to 100 times more computing power to handle and process the same traffic as networking, routing, and switching. So there's a huge performance gap and a huge cost between the networking and between security. So how to close this gap? We're using the same trick again, ASIC. So Fortinet from day one, we developed, we call Security Process Unit, SPU, to close the gap between networking and security performance and also the cost. So today, we are the only company using SPU ASIC chip in the network security, in the second generation network security, which helping address the performance cost issue. So in the last few years, since changing again, now the mobile and the cloud starting replacing the PC and servers. Data is traveling outside the company network to the mobile device, to the IoT, to the cloud, and to the edge. The trust zone inside the company LAN is no longer there. And the border between the inside LAN and outside WAN is disappearing, where the firewall need to be stay there. So the valuable data now need to be secured as they move around the network. And they move between the device and move between all different users, even cross the border to different countries. So secure routing become valuable because the data need to be stay away from the high-risk traffic area, and also need to be reduce the pollution to the data from come from different networking traffic. So this causes the security and networking need to be converged, accelerate to the third generation infrastructure security. We call it security-driven network. So security is no longer like a moat protecting the castle and fortress, but more like an immune system in the human body to move around to block and neutralize the threat. To have the best, strong immune system, security and networking need to be converged into security-driven network. So 10 years ago, we lead Wi-Fi with some security integration all into the FortiGate device. And today, we're leading the SD-WAN and security integrated into a single box, the FortiGate again. And going forward, we're keeping leading the 5G and security integration together. From the data showing here, we gathered ourselves. There's a two trend you can see in the last 30, 40 years on the network and security historic data. So the first trend, you can see cybersecurity as a percentage of total IT spending will keep increase. From 1% to 2% 19 years ago when we started Fortinet, to now close to 10% in US. Second, network security grow faster than other security in the cyberspace. Become the biggest sector in cybersecurity, overtook endpoint security. The reason is even today, the networking, routing, switching still only address the connectivity and speed issue. Even with the new technology like Wi-Fi, like SDN, like NFV, like SD-WAN with 5G, that's all still address the connectivity and speed, nothing beyond that. So the layer about all this connectivity function, like application, like the content, like all the user, like a different device, like a different country region, all need to be handled by security. So that's why security-driven networking will be the future trend, including secure Wi-Fi in enterprise, secure SD-WAN in the branch, secure 5G going forward. It's also our vision to bring the security and networking together when the company founded 19 years ago. That's pretty early. So we have the name Fortinet, meaning to secure and fortify the network. Now let me move to the second topic, how the cloud computing architecture versus edge computing. Because the cloud is a very hot topic in the last few years. And the cloud and mobile already replacing the traditional PC and server in the last few years. So Fortinet do offer the most broad cloud security solution, both across different security functions and also cover all major cloud providers. This broad coverage
enable customer easily secure and move the data between different applications and the different cloud providers in the form of both pay as you grow and also bring your own license format. And Fortinet has the highest level partnership with all major cloud providers. And Patrice just showed all cloud business also growing very, very fast. On the other side, the edge is where the physical meet the digital. And edge is enabling the connection between the things and the human. The number of connected things already outnumber the people. And this continues to grow very, very quickly. Estimate probably in a few years, more than 10 times the things connect compared to connected people. So the majority of enterprise and the most application will integrate edge computing based on the Gartner research, some data from here. The reasons because the latency and the bandwidth requirement, plus the need to interact locally and process data in real time, means that most data will be created and live on the edge. Also using some of the Gartner data here. You can see with the computing power keeping rising in the last 40, 50 years, with the computing cost keeping getting lower, together with the networking connectivity and speed keeping increased quickly, the computing and the networking infrastructure keep evolving in the last 50 years. So we saw the server and PC replace the mainframe and terminal 20, 30 years ago. The cloud and mobile take over server and PC in the last 5 to 10 years. In the next few years, the explosion of IoT and immersive technology, like your wearable device, like all the smart device at home, will pushing the data and computing to the edge, creating massive amount of data. And 70 to 80% of this edge data never go to the data center, never go to the cloud to be processed there because the connectivity speed, because the latency, because the cost. That gave the edge computing huge advantage. So immersive technology device, including the IR, VR, including all the wearable, including all the smart glass, smart watch, was starting eating the mobile device away. And the edge computing will start eating the cloud going forward. For the cybersecurity, the cloud is good on provisioning, on management, on aggregation, on archiving. But the edge has the advantage of speed, the latency, the autonomy, the privacy. So in general, the cloud is fit for detection, and the edge is superior for prevention. Fortinet is the only cybersecurity company that will lead in both the edge and the cloud security. So today, we just introduced the industry first SD-WAN ASIC, the FortiSPU SoC4, for performance and low latency and at the edge. So since 19 years ago, Fortinet founded, we started building all the ASIC chip from the very beginning. So the SPU can achieve high performance and low cost to compare to the software approach, and close the gap between the networking and security, and making the networking more affordable and secure the whole infrastructure. So that's the vision we have. So the first product powered by the new SoC4 SPU is called FortiGate 100F. It's the next generation firewall. So it's combined SD-WAN function with advanced security into a single box. And it's delivered more than 10 times performance compared to any other competitor in the same price range, the same same bandwidth. And also, it has a 10 gig interface, you can see here, which enable the growth potential going forward. Now move to the third topic, Fortinet compared to competitors. So innovation is one of the key culture of Fortinet, together with the openness, with teamwork. So we continue to focus on innovation. And today you can see we have more than 600 issued patents, 3 times the patent more than any other competitors. And this innovation gave us a long-term vision and one of the key differentiators of our advantage over our competitors. Compared to most of our competitors, depend on acquisition to acquire technology, acquire product, acquire customer need. Also, based on IDC data, you can see in the last 6 years, Fortinet become the #1 unit shipment. And the results demonstrate our ability to provide the most innovative, the highest performing secure fabric to secure and simplify the IT infrastructure. And Fortinet is the only vendor capable of deliver automated protection and visibility to every network segment, from carrier and service provider, which need a bigger box, to enterprise and branch office, to the SMB and home user, whether it's on-premise or virtual, whether it's in the cloud or on the edge. So we have addressed pretty much a whole sector in the space. Also based on the IDC data, the latest data, you can see in Q4 2018, Fortinet has a revenue growth of 18%. They call the factory revenue. Moving to #2 in the industry and growing faster than the overall market. As more enterprise customers consolidate towards less vendor, Fortinet's broad security fabric offer enable our customer and secure and protect the more attack surface, and also enable our partner to grow business faster and to gain market share from competitors. Fortinet also continues to lead in the shareholder value and the return. So we balance well with the growth and the profitability. So compared to some of our competitors, like Palo Alto, only focus on growth, like Check Point only focus on profit, we have both. So the end result, Fortinet has the best shareholder return and the stock performance compared to Palo Alto Network and Check Point in the past 1 year, in the past 3 years, in the past 5 years, and since IPO about 10 years ago. %90 of ISP 100 company and 70% of Fortune 100 company globally using Fortinet to protect their infrastructure. So the key customer also including the government and the service provider worldwide. We continue to invest aggressively in our strong installation base and also sales and marketing and hiring. Enable us to win and take market share in a growing market like SD-WAN, Patrice just talked about, in the fabric infrastructure, in the edge, cloud computing, in the IoT, in the OT device and space. And like Patrice shared, education is one of the key parts. Fortinet, I can say, also is a learning company. So I spoke to the World Economic Forum early this year about the global cybersecurity skill shortage. It's about 3.5 million people short in the whole space. So in the last 5 years, Fortinet has built the biggest worldwide cybersecurity training program, the Network Security Expert, the NSE training program, which offers deep and broad training for our partner, for our customer, to employee, to the whole industry. So we partner today with 141 universities in 57 countries and it reached about 200,000 certification today. Last year, I shared with you all, Fortinet received more industry recognition and certification than any other vendors. So we continue to maintain our lead here and keep increasing the number. So today, we have 9 recommendations across different product category, more than double compared to any other competitor in the same space. Also this morning, we announced the new FortiOS 6.2 with over 300 new features and functions. So FortiOS is the most global adopted operating system. It has close to 400,000 customers worldwide. We have so far deployed about 5 million FortiGate running FortiOS globally since company founded 19 years ago. That's the biggest deployment global we have, the most popular OS we have. So this FortiOS 6.2 enhances SD-WAN, enhances the fabric, enhances the AI, plus a lot of other features. So John Maddison will be shared with you in the next presentation. And Fortinet built 3 layers of architecture for our broad, integrate, and automated cybersecurity. So this is our core architecture. So in the middle core is our FortiGate system with the FortiOS and FortiSPU ASIC chip. Offer more function and cover both security and networking than any other competitor in the space, and achieve the best performance and cost like our FortiSPU ASIC chip. Because no one likes to use multiple boxes between the connections. So that's where integrate inside the OS, inside one system, and lower the cost, adding performance very, very important in this single box. So expand to the second layer is our fabric architecture. With more than 20 products integrated over the whole infrastructure security to meet the third generation network security need. And most of these 20 products are internally developed, innovated, to make it working together from day one, which has huge advantage compared to a lot of competitors have to acquire company product, which has very difficult time to integrate, and also very low rate, very low successful rate to integrate all these different things together. Because we build internally, we integrate well, which is the key for the next stage, automation and also AI. So the outside circle, the bigger circle, is our fabric partner ecosystem. So today we have a 57 fabric-ready partner like Symantec. Offer the industry best visibility, the entire protection for the whole digital attack surface, and full data protection for the whole infrastructure. Like Patrice shared with you, the total addressable market for Fortinet also is much bigger than any of other competitors. So we're keeping gaining market share. We're keeping grow faster than any other competitor in the network security space. With the FortiOS 6.2 we just announced, with FortiGate 100F we just announced, with FortiSPU SoC 4 we just announced. So all this will give us huge advantage over our competitors going forward. In the infrastructure part, Fortinet Fabric, with 20-some products we have, also enable our customer and the partner to meet the need of the third generation cybersecurity today, which also grow faster than the network security we share with you in the earnings call. And we also are keeping invest in the cloud security, in the edge security, in the IoT security, in the OT security, like I shared with you last year, the connected car. So we're leading in all this space with very strong R&D, very strong long-term investment going forward. So that's make Fortinet has much bigger potential than any other competitor in the space, all because of long-term vision, long-term investment, or heavy engineering technology investment. So in summary, so I want to leave you a 3 key takeaways. First, with mobile and the cloud making the security border disappear, networking and security starting to merge together to form the 3rd generation infrastructure-based security-driven networking, which integrate all security function, all application level, content level, all user level, device level, with the routing and switching within the connection level. All this need to be integrated together. We call it security-driven network. Second, with immersive device and IoT, together with the 5G, will be making the majority data application needed to process in the edge. So the edge starting kind of get into the cloud space, starting eating the cloud now. And also the immersive technology device also starting replacing the mobile you have today. So Fortinet is the only company invests both in the cloud and also in the edge computing, which also have a lot of future potential. So that give you all has a huge opportunity going forward. And third, Fortinet with the innovation culture, with a long-term investment, positioned much better compared to any other competitor to meet the customer and the customer need of today and tomorrow. So let's raise above the challenge together and seize the opportunity going forward. Thank you.